if I can, I want to show you a video of MAGA Republican Lauren Boebert.
It was a remarkable presidential moment, courtesy of the MidasTouch.com. Host Ben Micella showed a Lauren Boebert floor speech criticizing the Inflation Reduction Act.
It's the exact opposite of what Americans need right now. This is just another con game by the Democrats, calling something one thing and saying another.
Expired.
This is making the IRS, which
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
The Pentagon, the State Department,
gentlewoman is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Missouri reserves the belt.
Mr. Speaker, how much time do you need?
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized.
After laughing at Boebert, President Biden noted the bill she opposed created jobs in Boebert's district.
If it weren't so important to be humorous, what's you call a massive failure? The only massive failure occurs in their thinking.
Moments earlier, in a speech at a wind turbine factory in Boebert's district, the president ridiculed her.
The historic investments we're celebrating today is in Congressman Boebert's district. She's one of the leaders of this extreme mega movement. She, along with every single Republican colleague, voted against the law that made these investments in jobs possible. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. And then she voted to repeal key parts of this law. And she called this law a massive failure. You all know you're part of a massive failure?
The idea that she's talking about this being a massive failure, I don't get it. I don't know whether they just don't understand anything or whether or not they, in fact, are. I hope she comes back here and tells the people in this factory, the largest wind turbine factory in the world, that this is a massive failure. I'd like to ask her to explain how she supports not taxing billionaires more than 8%. I have trouble explaining it. But then again, I probably shouldn't waste my time trying to.
There is an argument that President Biden did waste his time trying to explain Lauren Boebert and then in punching down at her. The theory is that whenever a president ridicules or laughs at a member of Congress, that member's profile only gets higher. In other words, the president raised the status and importance of Lauren Boebert, and Boebert is arguably one of the dumbest and most ridiculous MAGA members in the U.S. House. However, by hitting Lauren Boebert by name in her home district and pointing out Boebert's hypocrisy, that also makes Lauren Boebert a bigger target. As it stands, polls show her losing to 2024 Democratic challenger Adam Frisch, who she narrowly beat in 2022. And Frisch has already raised twice as much in campaign donations as Boebert. Even Boebert recognizes she is in trouble and that the national stakes are significant. In late November, she made a plea on social media, quote, "With the end of the month deadline upon us, I'm asking each and every one of you for help ensuring my campaign has the resources to win. If we lose Colorado's 3rd district, the House is in major jeopardy of falling into Democrat hands." Some Democratic strategists agree that a victory over Boebert in Colorado is a crucial step if Democrats want to gain a majority in the U.S. House. And so the race in Colorado's 3rd district, which analysts call a toss-up, is gaining in importance by the day. And in my view, President Biden's trip to Pueblo, Colorado, and underscoring the economic gains of a bill Boebert opposed is smart politics. Adding to the intrigue, Lauren Boebert continues on a daily basis to politically shoot herself in the foot. The most recent debacle came in the House Oversight Committee. Boebert attempted and failed to shame a Social Security Administration official over remote productivity.
You all are allowing delinquent employees to sit on their sofas at home instead of actually getting to work and doing their jobs. This is absolutely unacceptable.
So our employees are working whether they are in the office or at home, and they are.
Are you monitoring the work that they are doing from home on a regular basis?
Yes, we are.
Every employee, do you have the numbers of the hours that are submitted? Are you counting how many times they're logging into their computers and responding to casework?
So our employees are subject to the same performance management processes and oversight they are whether they're teleworking or working in an office. And we have systems in place that our managers use to schedule, assign, and track workloads. And that includes individual employee workloads in many cases. So real-time understanding of what actions are being processed at any particular given time. Additionally, our employees are required to be accessible to their supervisors, clients, colleagues, and external parties during work hours via a variety of means, including instant messaging, video platforms, and telephone. They are connected to the workplace, whether they are in the office or at the home.
Then why is the backlogs for Social Security applicants increased from 41,000 to $107,000.
Because we've been historically underfunded for a number of years now.
I don't think you're underfunded. You're funded at the Nancy Pelosi levels. At the Democrat levels, we just continued that same funding.
So I would say
at pandemic level spending.
So I'd say we'd have an increase of over 8 million beneficiaries over the last 10 years. At the same time, we experienced our lowest work staffing levels at the end of FY22. That's a math problem. I mean, that is a problem. If you have those workloads, increasing, and you don't have the staff to take care of those workloads, you're going to have the backlogs that you're talking about, Representative.
And trying to explain math to that representative is probably an exercise in futility. Also, never mind her ignorance about math, Boebert also embarrassed herself in terms of the concept of remote work and productivity. It's remarkable for Lauren Boebert, of all people, to criticize anybody else doing their job when Boebert has failed to pass a single piece of legislation. Nothing she has sponsored or co-sponsored has ever become law. She is literally batting zero. And her only accomplishment, if you call it that, is bilking her supporters for their campaign fundraising dollars. It's also interesting that Lauren Boebert is so against remote work, given her own letter within the past year notifying the House clerk of her proxy vote designee. Anyway, the hypocrisy with Boebert never seems to end. And the hashtag Lauren Boebert is so dumb trends nearly every time Boebert speaks at a hearing or on the House floor.
What you've said is none of the funds in this bill can be spent for that objective.
And that is precautionary.
What funds are in this bill to be spent for that objective?
I have seen this administration use all sorts of funds
to
protect illegal aliens. And this is
reclaiming my time, Ms.
to ensure that it will not be.
Reclaiming my time. There are no funds in this bill to do that. So this is just an opportunity for you to stand and perhaps speak about an important subject. I understand that, but there are no funds in this bill to accomplish that objective.
Another important subject for Lauren Boebert this past year was public peeing.
You lead the charge to decriminalize public urination in Washington, D.C.
No, ma'am.
Did you ever vote in favor of decriminalizing public urination in Washington, D.C.?
Criminal code that was passed by the council.
Did you ever support?
Kept it as a criminal offense.
We have records that show that you were in favor of removing that criminal offense and allowing public urination?
No.
Is that something that you intend to pursue in the future?
No. The legislation you're referring to that came from the Criminal Code Reform Commission changed public urination from a criminal to a civil offense. The council then changed that to maintain it as a criminal offense at the request of the mayor.
Thank you. I yield.
To be fair, Boebert has not always been against people who exposed or got their private parts exposed or touched in public.
Surveillance video revealed that she was indeed vaping, as well as she and her companion explicitly groping each other repeatedly while they were in their seats.
It's a never-ending mix of hypocrisy and lunatic drama with Lauren Boebert, and her screeching on the House floor continues. Kudos to the MidasTouch.com for showing that Boebert has even been laughed at by President Biden. And one can only hope that Biden's attention will increase the odds that Congress will not have to put up with Boebert's antics beyond 2024. By the way, Donald Trump has just erupted at actor Robert DeNiro for publicly criticizing Trump.
The former president lied to us more than 30,000 times during his Thank you. Years in office, and he's keeping up the pace in his current campaign of retribution.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.